So we'll take all the questions at the end. Please, we'll take all your questions about the program structure. Everything we will take at the end.
Yeah, I have joined the call, sir. I am just sharing my screen again. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I am just sharing my screen. Yeah, just let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes. Yes, I will let you. Yeah,
Yes, we can.
it's
Yeah.
there now. Thank you.
Okay, okay. So first, let me introduce myself. So I am Nirav Mistry. I have done MPharm in pharmacology, and I have around 11 years of experience in clinical SAS programming. And I have worked with multiple MNC companies, pharma plus CRO, in clinical trials. So today I'm here to present a small introductory session on SAS clinical trial programmer and its scope. So what is today's agenda? So I will cover the role of SAS in clinical trial, then clinical SAS work process, then growth of SAS in clinical research, then why should you be in the clinical SAS industry, then what are the entry-level job roles and growth in SAS programming, and finally how we teach and train people for SAS programming job. Okay, so first we will see what is the role of SAS in clinical trial. So now in industry we require two types of skill. So one is hard skill and another is soft skill. So your hard skills means your subject matter expertise, means in which subject you are expertise, which may be your statistics, which may be your SAS, which may be your pharmacology, anything it may be. Okay, so it's called hard skill. Then your math, statistical knowledge, then data technical skills, all these skills comes under the hard skill. Now in industry, if you want to grow apart from this hard skill, you also require the soft skill, like problem solving ability, storing telling capacity, how you collaborate with your subordinate and your superiors, then how you are curious about learning new things, then your communication, and ultimately the creativity in the job. Okay, so if the person has both of these skills, definitely he will grow in the industry. Now why we require the statistical software? Okay, now as in previous session you understand what is clinical trial, and in clinical trial actually we produce a huge volume of data. Okay, so it will be very difficult, to analyze those clinical trial data using our traditional Excel or whatever the online software are available. So which is actually very time consuming, and manual computation will be error prone. So for this reason we require a statistical software. So actually SAS is one of such software. So we use this SAS software in a clinical trial to analyze the data and to submit the data to the health authorities. So why we use the SAS? Okay, so in SAS we can analyze the advanced statistical analysis, which are much more accessible. We can also analyze the non-standard data. Comparatively SAS is very faster. Okay, in a fraction of second you can run the program and you can analyze the data of clinical trial data. Okay, it is a better reporting tool. Okay, for reporting purpose as well we use the SAS software. Means the clinical trial data we present it into the word file, and this word file we submit to the health authorities. So it is a better reporting tool. And in SAS we can store the large volume of data, so it acts as a warehousing. Okay, and it is very popular worldwide nowadays. Now first we will see what is the history of SAS. So SAS stands for Statistical Analysis System. It was first developed by Jim Goodnight and John Shell in 1970 at NC University. It was actually initially developed for the agriculture research, but later it was majorly used in clinical research, banking sector, market research, everywhere SAS is used. Okay, today we will discuss what is the role of SAS in clinical research. Okay, now SAS Institute was founded in 1976. Okay, it is originally from USA. Okay, and 98 of world's top 100 companies in Fortune 500 use SAS software, and it is CFR Part 2 compliant. CFR stands for Code of Federal Regulation, which is conducted by the USA. Now I will show you how SAS look like. So in SAS actually we have mainly the five windows. So this is the editor window. Second is log window, then explorer window, then output window and result window. When you open the SAS, it will look like this. Okay, in editor window we generally write the code. This is a code syntax program. Okay, you must be aware of the C language, right? So same way, in editor window we write the code here, and when we run the particular code, it will generate the output. Now what is the purpose of this log window? So whenever you run the code, okay, in SAS, so if you find any error or warning and any note in your code or any malfunction in your code or program, so it will reflect into the log window. So by seeing the log window, you can confirm that whether my code is working properly or not, or do I need to rectify it. So by rectifying this, you can again run your code. Now in Explorer window, we have libraries where we store our clinical trial data. Okay, we have permanent as well as the temporary libraries. Now after running the code, whatever the result is generated, okay, we can see it in output window, and final result will be saved into the result window. Okay, so we have uh, five windows in SAS. Now we will see what is the role of SAS in clinical research. Okay, so we can do the basic research of clinical trial data. Okay, in SAS we can do the statistical analysis in SAS. We can create the graphs in SAS. Okay, different kind of graphs which are required to present to health authorities, we can create in SAS. We can create a reports in SAS. We can also generate the randomization of patients, like which patient will receive which particular drug. Okay, that randomization we can do in SAS. SAS is one of the database. We can store large volume of data, and also for the documentation purpose we use the SAS. Now we will see the clinical SAS work process. What actually we do in a clinical SAS industry, okay, when we conduct clinical trial. So this is the workflow. So when we conduct the clinical trial worldwide, okay, not only in India, we do the clinical trial globally. Okay, so we have multiple sites globally. So we collect the data from the multiple sites. Then this particular data will be sent to the CDM team, that is called clinical data management team. Okay, so clinical data management team generally use the EDC tool, which is called electronic data capturing tool, RAVE and Oracle. This platform they use, and they just create the raw data from the clinical trial data. After that, this data will be sent to the SAS programming team, which comprises of the three division. One is SDTM team, second is ADAM team, and third one is the TFL team. SDTM stands for Study Data Tabulation Model. So we have a specific guideline for it. Okay, you can search in Google. You will definitely get it. It is freely available. So using this SDTM guideline, okay, and SAS software, we convert this raw data into the standard data set, okay, as per the guideline. After that, the standard data set will be sent to the ADAM team, and they will create the analysis data set. Okay, and using this analysis data set, we create a report in terms of table, figure, and listing. TFL stands for tables, figures, and listing. So ultimately, the raw clinical trial raw data, we are presenting them in form of table, figures, and listings. So it will be very easy for the health authorities and regulatory reviewers to review the clinical trial data. Okay, now to whom we submit the data? We submit this data to FDA, that is Health Authority for USA, EMA for Europe, and PMDA for Japanese health authorities. Okay, so this SDTM, ADAM, and TFL all together comprises of submission package. We called it as a submission package, and we create final submission in define. Define is one kind of XML file that we send to the health authorities, and using this file they can easily access this data and review this data. So you can understand how important the role of SAS is throughout the clinical trial. Okay, now this is the one of the example of the raw data, how raw data looks like when we gather the information from clinical trial site. Okay, the raw data will look like this. I have taken this particular data from the one of the live project of clinical trial. Okay, uh, now using this raw data, we convert it to the standard data, which is called SDTM. Okay, this is the example of the demographic data, so which provide information about the patients, like what is the age of patient, what is the gender of the patient, what is the race of patient, what is the ethnicity of race, patient, when the subject start the trial, that is RPHDs, when the subject ended the trial. So all this information is called demographic data. This is one of the domain, okay, of SAS programming. From this SGTM standard data set, we convert it into the ADAM data set. So ADAM data set will look like this. And using this ADAM data set, we create table, figures, and listing. So your demographic table will look like this. So you can imagine the how the raw data was look like, and now how it is presented in form of table. So we have gender bifurcation in male and female. So among the 14 patients, 5 were male, 9 were female, likewise. Okay, this is just an example. Age bifurcation, okay, then age group bifurcation, all this thing I have presented in table. All this thing I have created using the SAS. Okay, listing will look like this, like this is a treatment emergent adverse event listing. So when patient is undergoing clinical trial, so he may experience some adverse events. Okay, so we present the adverse event in form of listing. You can also create a figure in SAS. So this is one of the Kaplan-Meier summary of relapse-free survival table. Okay, this is I have taken from one of the oncology clinical trial. Now we will see what is the growth of SAS in clinical research. Okay, so as of now, the market size value in 2022 for a clinical trial is around 49.8 billion US dollar. Okay, for clinical SAS programming. This particular data I have collected from the Polaris Market Research, which is one of the most prominent market research company from New York, USA. Okay, um, now the revenue forecast in 2030, the clinical SAS programming market will be around 78.3 billion US dollar. You can imagine what is the growth. Okay, and the growth rate, that is compound annual growth rate, is of 5.8% from 2022 to 2030. Okay, so right now the SAS programming is one of the most growing field in clinical research. So you can imagine. So if you find any opportunity, if you get the entry level into the one of the MNC company, your career will be booming up to the by 2030. You can imagine this thing. Okay, the SAS programming scope is not only in India; it is spreaded worldwide. So in which country you can have the opportunity? It includes mainly the US, Canada, UK, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, China, India, Japan. So likewise, you have opportunity worldwide. So it is one of the booming field worldwide right now. Now this is most important slide, because ultimately what we are doing, anything we are doing for money, right? So I will show you what is the scope of SAS in India. Okay, so if you are a fresher, okay, and you have done some certification and some training for SAS, and you know the SAS, then as a fresher you can get up to the 4.5 lakhs per annum package at entry level. Okay, from 0 to 2 years you can have 4.5 to 5.4 lakhs per annum. Likewise, 5 to 10 years of experience, then up to 10 to 12 lakhs you can get. And if you have 10 plus experience in SAS, your package will be more than 18. Okay, but right now I have seen that one of my friend who has around 6 to 7 years of experience in clinical SAS program is getting more than 20 lakhs per annum package. Okay, now why you should be in clinical SAS industry? Okay, so actually it is a big advantage of high earning okay, due to the demand of this SAS programming in clinical research field, because right now we have lots of project, okay, in MNC companies, but we have very less programmers right now because awareness of SAS uh, is somewhat less, okay. So we have opportunity in pharma industries plus CRO, and some doctors, pharmacists, engineer, MSc, MCA, MBA people who have more than 5 years of experience in their field have actually changed their profile as a SAS programmer, and right now they are working as a SAS programmer in industry. And in SAS programming career there is no recession like IT. Even if in pandemic, not a single person was fired from the SAS programming job, and at that time as well we were recruiting the SAS programmers at that time as well, okay. And it is actually a best profile for girls. Why? Because in SAS programming you can also get the home based job, like permanent work from home. So you can know, girls can also manage their family and personal life along with their professional life, so you can have a better work life balance if you are in SAS field, okay. Now we will see what is the entry level job roles and growth in SAS programming. So if you are a fresher, then you will be assigned a stat programmer designation, okay. And gradually once you grow, you will get stat programmer 1 and stat programmer 2 role. So they generally do the programmings, okay, what I have discussed earlier, and they will report to a SLP. SLP stands for study lead programmer, who will manage the whole clinical trial study in terms of programming, okay. He will allocate the different kinds of work to the stat programmer 1 and stat programmer 2, okay. Now SLP reports to the manager. Manager is equivalent to associate director, okay, and manager will handle 4 to 5 SLPs, that is study lead programmers, and around 4 to 5 manager will report to the director, okay. Now I will discuss this thing in terms of package. Now study lead programmer, as a study lead programmer you will get around 25 to 30 lakhs per annum as per the current market trend, okay. If you are a manager or associate director in clinical SAS programming, then his package ranges from 40 to 50 lakhs per annum, and as a director he will get around 60 plus lakhs per annum package in clinical SAS programming. This is the current market trend, okay. Now how we teach and train people, okay, in Cliniminds, okay, as a SAS programming. Now we have a specially designed course and content as per the industry requirement to get the job. So actually we have prepared a particular course which is industry oriented. So when you appear for any kind of SAS programming interview, then you will be aware of the all terminologies, like what you have to answer and how you should answer it, okay. And you will be trained for the proper knowledge of SAS programming. So we are not only teaching the SAS, but apart from that, we are also teaching the clinical research. Okay, basic fundamentals of clinical research. What is CDISC? That is clinical SAS. CDISC stands for the Clinical Data Interchange Standard Consortium. So, which is in layman term, we called it as a clinical SAS. Okay, there is a special guideline for it. And then interview preparation, like how you should prepare for the interview, and we also assist in the resume update, okay. And most important thing, that is candidate will be prepared for industry oriented real time clinical SAS programming project workflow. So we actually create a dummy project, okay. What we work in a real time in a so we create a dummy project, and I will also provide the sample codes for it, so candidate can run that particular code and he will understand, like step by step, like how this particular program works, how you should write the program, and how that particular data is manipulated in SAS, and how we present that particular data. So we will provide the all the material. And after getting trained in SAS, the candidate can prepare quickly for the global SAS certification exam. This SAS certification exam is not compulsory, because most of the CRO companies like TCS, Pfizer, Syneos, Accenture, IQA, they are not asking for the global SAS certification, okay. But if you are appearing for the core pharma industries like Pfizer, Novartis, Johnson and Johnson, they are asking for the certification. So if you have the certification in your hand, then it will be easy for you to easily get the entry into the clinical SAS industry. So we assist in how to clear that particular SAS exam. It is a global certification exam like GRE TOEFL. You have to pay a $180 and you have to just select your center and you have to appear for the exam. It is an online exam. So if you get more than 70 percentile, then you will get the SAS certification and SAS batch. So you can fix that particular batch in your profile and on your LinkedIn profile, and you can easily get the entry into the SAS industries. So that's all about the SAS and its scope. So thank you very much for it. And finally, I would like to thank Kamal sir and his team to present myself on a CliniMind platform. So thank you very much. And if you have any question, then we can discuss it.
Yeah. Thank you, Neeraj sir, for your excellent presentation on SAS and by Dr. Vipra, Said sir. Now we will take question. You can either